Hi, I'm living in hope, and I know I'm not alone. It's January 29th of 2023, and it's been a few weeks since I put anything up online. I wanted to talk or demonstrate, basically, give you some evidence of the game-changing benefits of utilizing a continuous glucose monitor, a CGM. I talked in December, I believe it was, a little bit about changing your shoes and how oftentimes type 2 diabetics have a tendency to look for thick-soled shoes that I had switched over to zero drop or barefoot style shoes, mostly because they have a wide toe box, and that was taking pressure off my little bunionette. Quite frankly, it's worked beautifully. I'll get back to that another time. But right now, I want to give you some idea as to why a continuous glucose monitor is really a game changer for type 2 diabetics. I never had one until like August of last year, mostly because I didn't have the resources. So insurance, I didn't have a primary caregiver because for a long period of time I wasn't making enough money to be able to afford a decent insurance, so everything would have come out of my pocket because of the copay anyway. But finally, I'm in a different position at a different location, and I am grateful that I have good insurance. I was able to get a referral from a friend and a coworker for an endocrinologist. So rather than having to go through the BS of having to deal with a primary caregiver who's going to tell me, no, I'm going to put you on statins. If you don't want to do this, if you're not going to go on statins, then I'm not going to treat you. You're just going to defeat yourself. No, you're not going to change your diet. I have been reluctant to go on, not metformin. I wanted metformin, but again, kind of really can't get a script for that without a doctor or now an endocrinologist. But anyway, the other thing that I wanted was a CGM, and I had watched a lot of lectures from doctors like Georgia Eads, I think even Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Paul Mason, Gary Fetke, so many of these low-carb icons that we have that are fighting for our right to actually get low carbohydrate, high fat, moderate protein diets recognized as treatments/cures for type 2 diabetes, provided you stick to them. But one of the things that several of them have touted is the benefit of having a continuous glucose monitor, which for me, if you're one of those people that kind of needs evidence all the time of stuff, rather than just going, I'm going to go by how my body feels, because I don't want to stick myself 25 times a day after each meal and such, just to find out what my numbers are. It's absolutely insane, the number of finger sticks you would have to go through to get any decent information. So I'm going to go here. What I have is a Libre Freestyle 2. And I have the app on my phone. It goes into a lot of different stuff. So what I'm going to go through right here is I'm going to show you some of the data, just a little bit of snippet of the data that you can see. Hopefully you can see this. Okay. So this is actually time and target, and as you can see, this is for 90 days from November 1st to January of this year. So I had 4% of the time was way out of target, so higher than 240, and then 52% was down to 181, between 181 and 240, and then other than that it was 70 to 180. And this is milligrams per deciliter. So, and you can see, I know this is terrible, so 44% of the time, and this is 90 days ago. So, let's see, so 30 days ago, it was down to So December through January, it was down to, what percent is that? 2%? What is that? Yeah, 2%. Sorry, my vision is kind of screwed right now. I'm having some trouble with diabetic retinopathy. I'm going to go into that on a whole nother thing, a whole nother episode here. And that was my time in the red zone, that 2%. As you can see, between 181 and 240, I'm at 44% here, and this is again those 30 days. And then my time in the green zone between 70 and 180 is up to 54%. Now that's 30 days. Within the last 14 days, so from January 16th to today, you can see there is no time in the red zone, 0% in the red zone, 22% in the yellow zone, the caution zone, and 78% of the time in the green zone. Now this has been eating primarily a moderate carbohydrate and high fat diet. Well, for me, high fat is, I'm somewhere between 40 and 50%, because other than that, it's disaster pants time. I'm having a really hard time acclimating to high fat. But the last 7 days alone, yellow zone, 181 to 240, and where is that? 20% of the time, with absolutely 0% of the time above 240, or anywhere near it actually. And then down here in the green zone, between 70 and 180, 80% of the time. Now this is just one of the easy ways to read this. It's a quick look at it. You can go into the logbook function and you can get the readings per day. So, and you can see there's a lot of, let's see, is that it? There you go. So there's some red time from way back January 1st. Oops, let me go back. I haven't even looked at that one. I can't tell you what it is. But you can see there's time in the red zone and time in the yellow zone and not a single bit in the green zone. So we flash forward to, and now mind you, I had a lot of junk food over the holidays. Not as much as I normally would or would have thought that I would have, but I did have plenty of chocolate and candy and all sorts of num-nums. It was crazy. So a lot of time in, where is it? There we go. A lot of time in the 200s, and it tells you each one. You can actually even make a note on what you had. So down here, January 6th is a few days after work started up for me back again, January 3rd. So January 6th, I was kind of getting back into the high 100s. And you can see I actually greened out at 175. And let's flash forward to one of my best days, January 13th. Although this might have been COVID time, I actually got COVID for the first time this year, and it's just awful. Granted, you know, cedar fever would have been worse. I'm in Texas. I'm allergic to cedar. Cedar fever would have been worse. But the first 3 days of COVID were god-awful. Pain, muscle aches, joint aches, body aches, the whole schmear. Absolutely atrocious. And I mean, you can see there's good days and there's bad days, and you make notes. You say if you're up at the, you know, like 174 for instance, at 7:40 a.m. I probably had that was probably breakfast. Yeah, that was probably breakfast. I had that at work, and then it went down. My blood sugar went down, and then it started coming back up by dinner time. And January 20th, so let's see, lots of time in the green, sometime even in the 120s. So you can see progress. I mean, it is absolute bliss. And here's my pride and joy. January 24th, this is my pride and joy so far. Every single check was in the green zone. And you want to talk about exciting, you want to talk about fun, you want to talk about inspiring. It is incredibly, incredibly inspiring to be able to see this progress being made. So, as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, as unlikely as you might think it is to be able to get a CGM, do what you, jump through the hoops. Jump through the hoops to get that CGM. This alone is a game changer. It helps you be mindful without having to stick your fingers every time you stick something in your mouth. It's just, which is totally annoying. It's worth it. And it keeps hope alive in me. And I know it will do the same for you or anyone that you love that has type 2 diabetes. I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to ask you all to please keep hoping, but please do the work. Hope is great. It keeps you motivated to do the work. You have to do the work in order to get the results of anything. So, please do keep hoping, because it's out there somewhere. If I can reach this kind of even tiny little bit of incentivizing, if I can see this after 12 years of trying to control this through diet and exercise and having no success, in fact, a reverse of success, a lot of failure over and over again, now that I have the CGM, now I'm starting to see success. And you will too. You will too. It's motivating. It's inspiring. Allow you to be inspired by your own behavior. So on that note, happy end of January, beginning of February. Tax time's coming up soon. So if you get a refund, maybe go see a doctor. If you're on an HMO, ask your primary care physician to give you a referral to an endocrinologist. If they won't work with you on the CGM front and on the dietary front, if they're insistent on medications that you don't want. If you don't want to see a primary care physician, get on a PPO. Get on a PPO and find an endocrinologist and ask them for help and make a plan. Mine is fantastic. I go to Texas Diabetes and Endocrinology. And we came up with a plan, and right now I know my next appointment is going to be on the 7th, 9th of February, something like that. No, 10th of February. So, and I'll have blood work done on February 3rd, so I should be able to be back with all the results of the blood work, most in particular the A1C. So for me, that's the most important, and I'll be happy to share that. So please do what you can. Like I said, keep hoping, live in that state of hope, and do the work necessary to make it come true, okay, to make your hopes come alive. Thank you very much for your time. If you would, please be so kind as to comment, particularly comment if you have your own things with CGM. Please let other people know. Share it. Share it with the world. Share it with other people who have the same trials and tribulations as you. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I thank you very, very much, and I'm sorry I was away for so long. I just wanted to have a good string of results, and I was very uncertain as to whether or not I would have anything positive to share. So I have to get over that and be able to share even the negatives. So on that note, thank you. Good luck. Stay hopeful, and stay well and safe. Thanks for your time.